The soras you see here represent the members of your 2024 to 2026 New York State Nominating Committee. Tonight's forum will be moderated by Sora Rebecca Severe and Sora Nyale P. Tucker. That's me. And at this time, I will turn the mic over to Sora Rebecca Severe. Sora Severe? Thank you, Sora Severe. It is my honor to serve as the moderator for the New York State Director Candidate Forum. Momentarily, you will hear from the 4 candidates seeking to serve as New York State's 17th State Director and the second elected New York State Director in history. Sora Heather DeLeon, Sora Carissa Faber, Sora Denise Leary, and Sora Meta Morrison Roper. This forum will consist of 5 questions, and candidates will have a maximum of 2 minutes to answer. After all questions have been answered, candidates will give their closing statements. Before we introduce the candidates tonight, we will review the duties of the State Director. The State Director is responsible for the duties outlined in the International Constitution and Bylaws in Article 5, duties of the international officers, and Article 6, regional and state directors, in addition to those outlined below. She must take and successfully complete the Zeta Organizational Leadership Training Program certification and become ZOL certified prior to or within 1 year after being elected as State Director. She shall authorize travel and office expenses for all state officers. She shall appoint officers for the state that are aligned with those listed in Article 4, the current edition of New York State Standard Operating Manual, and any other officers that are deemed necessary to implement the state, regional, and international programs. She shall organize and conduct the biennial State Leadership Conference, Executive Board meeting, and any other meetings permitted under Article 6. She shall serve as chairperson of the Executive Board. And now we will hear from our candidates for New York State Director. And we will start with Sora Faber. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, Sora DeLeon.
Thank you.
DeLeon, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Soras. My name is Heather DeLeon, and in my 17th year in this illustrious organization, I'm a candidate for your 17th New York State Director. My platform is grounded in one word: growth. Because growth is not automatic, it is intentional, and because I believe New York State must be intentional about how we strengthen our foundation, develop our leaders, and how we move forward together. G, galvanize. We must make this space worth it. Every chapter deserves to feel seen, valued, and connected. Through initiatives like a statewide roundtable introducing Pearls of the Empire, we create space for collaboration, shared voice, and collective strength. R, restore. We must commit to learning the skills of critical conversation and restorative justice to strengthen our sisterhood, introducing the Blue Pulse. By focusing on restorative practices rooted in heart, we create an environment rooted in accountability, respect, and growth, not discipline. O, organize. We return to skill-based learning. Think home economics, positioning Zeta as a true resource in our communities, introducing the Empire Vanguard, from health advocacy like doula training to support expectant mothers fighting the maternal mortality rate, to financial awareness, to sustainability, learning how to garden on an apartment roof or grow things in your home. We build knowledge that serves both our sorors and our communities. And through this sorors, we win. W. We win by preparing our members through a professional development hub introducing the Finer Focus, where we create access right at your fingertips to learning, leadership training, and institutional knowledge at any time, any hour. And with the introduction of the Empire Blueprint, the Finer Reserve Seat, we ensure every soror can grow and lead at any level and is ready to serve at any time. Through this work, we strengthen not just what we do, but how we lead. I've built a consistent track record of doing the work at a high level.
Thank you, Sora DeLeon. Next, we will hear from our next candidate, Sora Carissa Faber. Sora Faber, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Peace and blessings, Soras. I am Carissa Faber, and I'm happy to be here this evening to share my platform as candidate for New York State Director. When I joined this illustrious organization over 25 years ago as an undergraduate on the campus of Virginia Tech, I knew that service was not optional. It was the standard, and that standard has shaped every role that I've held on a local, state, regional, and national level. These positions, including serving as your current New York State Treasurer, is evidence that I understand how this organization works, where the opportunities are, and what it truly takes to move New York State forward. It is that experience combined with vision that gave birth to the platform I'm bringing to you today. Stay Ready is a platform built for where New York is right now and where we're going. Reimagining standards means creating consistency and accountability across New York State because every chapter deserves clear expectations, reliable support, and the tools to meet both. My Ready report will ensure that we see where we are thriving and where we need to show up stronger. Effective partnerships means building relationships internally between chapters and externally with institutions that have the capacity to amplify our mission and fund some of our work. Advancing skills means equipping every SORA with tools, training, and professional development she needs to lead in Zeta and beyond. Developing leaders means investing in our undergraduate SORAs and our emerging leaders through junior board opportunities, mentorship programming, and financial support for conference participation to ensure that the next generation of Zeta leaders is ready. And yielding transformation means ensuring that our service, our advocacy, and our impact are felt in the communities that need us most. So when New Yorkers think of an organization that shows up, does the work, and makes a difference, they think of Zeta Phi Beta. That is what this platform is built on, and together that is exactly what we will become. The foundation is already laid, the work is already underway, and I am ready to serve.
Thank you, Sora Faber. We will now hear from our next candidate for New York State Director, Sora Denise Leary.
Greetings, everyone. I would like to say thank you and give homage to our 5 founders. For them, we are grateful that we are here. And I give greetings to any international, regional, and state officers on this call. And a special greeting to the SORAs of the Empire State. You exemplify excellence in everything you do. I thank the nominating committee for organizing this candidate forum, and I introduce myself as Denise Leary with the goal of being your next New York State Director. I stand to be the leader that you want, with all of us working together, honoring the pearls of my platform. I will be planning through succession to make sure that the chapter leadership at all levels continues to be embellished and thrive for years to come. I will expand the presence of our auxiliary groups. Zeta has provided a platform for our amici, youth, Zeta Male Network, and our organization, their advancement and activity of all of our auxiliaries will continue to grow. We are advancing our undergraduate chapters. Already we have seen growth in the collaboration as we recognize the hard work of our undergraduate advisors and give them assistance on and off campus as we show up in numbers. I stand to serve as a great representative for the state of New York, ensuring that we support our initiatives while we continue to have an impact locally with community-based organizations and our local government. And I will listen to your concerns and celebrate your successes. We have success with Z-Hope, with a huge variety of programming for our elderly, our youth, seniors, men, and us as women, and our international women of color. I'm excited to expand and recognize you more for your accomplishments. I hope that by the end of this forum, you would know that this Zeta, who has been a Zeta for 38 years, will be even more informed with you, and you will be informed with.
Thank you, Sora Leary. We will now hear from our final candidate for New York State Director, Sora Meta Morrison Roper.
Good evening, Madam State Director, members of the nominating committee, and SORAs of the Empire State. Thank you for creating this space for us to share our vision for the future of Zeta in New York. I'm Sora Meta Morrison Roper, and I'm running for New York State Director because I believe deeply in the strength, promise, and power of the Empire State. Across New York, our SORAs and auxiliary members are already doing meaningful work. My vision is to make that work more connected, visible, and intentionally supported. Simply put, no one should ever have to wonder what the Empire State has going on, because our sisterhood, our scholarship, our leadership, and our presence should speak clearly for themselves. This is why my campaign is centered on building a New York that is united and visible, strengthening responsive service and social impact, and ensuring we have empowered chapters and equipped leaders. As a Diamond Life member with more than 2 decades of uninterrupted service, I bring to this work experience as a chapter president, both for smaller and larger chapters, and a professional operations leader. And a SOAR who believes that structure and care can exist together. We honor our history while preparing for the future. We can strengthen our statewide identity while respecting chapter autonomy. We can serve our communities with compassion, coordination, and measurable impact. This campaign is not about one person. It's about what New York can do. And when we move together with purpose, clarity, equity, and love. I am SOAR Meta Morrison Roper, and I'm ready to help build that kind of Empire State. Thank you.
Thank you, Sora Morrison Roper. Now that we have heard our opening statements from all the candidates, we will now get ready for our Q&A session. We will begin with Sora Faber for our first question. Sora Faber, what is the legacy you'd like to leave if elected New York State Director?
Thank you for the question. So the legacy I'd like to leave behind is that New York State is a state that feels stronger, more connected, and more prepared for the future, and that all chapters within the state feel seen, heard, and supported throughout all of the geographical areas. In addition, as I stated in my opening, that New Yorkers think of Zeta as the organization that shows up, that does the work, and that they make a difference in their community. As a leader that works in performance improvement, I want to leave sustainable structures in place that have accountability for our members, leadership pipelines, and partnerships that can be built on by future administrations, so that the next state director has a foundation to lean on and they can build from that point forward.
Thank you, Sora Faber. We will now hear from Sora Leary. And Sora Leary, I will repeat the question for you. What is the legacy you'd like to leave if elected New York State Director?
Thank you for that question. One of the legacies that I would like to leave is the recognition that Zetas from across the state of New York, from upstate to downstate, the city and Long Island, had an opportunity not just to see each other once a year or once every other year, but to collaborate with each other often throughout the year and have made new friends, new commitments, new connections. And that is a part of my platform, which focuses on making sure that we collaborate across the entire state. The other legacy that I plan on leaving is recognition of our undergraduate sorors, their growth, their collaboration, and their continued presence on campus, and their commitment to becoming graduate sorors when they graduate from college. I would like to make sure that we fortify everything that they do, and my communication and collaboration with them will make sure that that happens. Thank you.
Thank you, Sora Leary. Sora Morrison Roper, you are next. I will repeat the question for you. What is the legacy you'd like to leave if elected New York State Director?
Thank you so much for the question. So one of the main reasons I decided to run for New York State Director, I wanted to make sure I was bringing something that was extremely unique to the state. And so my Empire State Rapid Response Model is something I'm really, really passionate about. Essentially, it's an opportunity for a local chapter to want to service an urgent need in their geographic area and be able to turn to the state and ask the state to help to facilitate meeting that need, so that one chapter is not burdened by that issue, and then the state can have an increased state impact. It aligns with my core commitment around responsive service and social impact, and it's tangible and it's very real time. I also want to make sure that the systems I create while I'm in office, they outlast my administration. Now, I'm a scientist by profession, so I'm responsible for overseeing teams that require or are only, have zero margin for error. And they operate in stressful environments. So we have to build trusted systems that achieve excellence. That means that the systems have to be clear, reliable. We have to provide training, resources, effective communication, and we can't be afraid of innovation. And all this is outlined in my core commitments for empowered chapters and equipped leaders. And then pride. I would like the pride to transcend the local chapter into a pride for Empire State. And we can do that through tangible actions, right? So we can have more collaborations and more conversations between chapters, and that's going to build relationships and trust. And all that through providing practical tools like joint calendars, so we're not stepping on each other or even competing, but rather here to support each other. And increase New York storytelling. So we're amplifying all of our wins, and we really, really embody what it is to be an Empire State soror. And that's under my core commitment for United and Visible. Thank you.
Thank you, Soror Morrison Roper. Soror De Leon, you are next, and I will repeat the question for you. What is the legacy you'd like to leave if elected New York State Director?
Thank you. I appreciate the repetition of the question as well. So I think about what I said in terms of a permanent roundtable culture, or Pearls of the Empire, where members feel ownership, not just participation, and retention becomes natural because the space feels like worth staying in it. In terms of restoration, I think about shifting the culture from a space of sometimes where we might be conflict averse to restorative leadership. So conflict can actually become a tool for growth. And I think about chapters practicing those critical conversations in that space as well. I think about trusting and the opportunity to rebuild trust across generations and across leadership levels. When I think about the O in terms of organization, I'm thinking about chapters becoming the centers for practical empowerment and involvement, where members gain real life skills, like I said, financial literacy, health advocacy. When we're talking about economics, we just know that we are going through something in terms of deed theft. So the organization becomes indispensable to the community, if you will. And when I think about institutionalizing knowledge and access, I'm also thinking about the legacy outcome in that space, a professional development hub that lives beyond any one administration, on-demand learning that lives beyond any one administration, a center for New York sorors. That is something that we can have so that we have a central hub, actually not just for New York. Anybody can come and be a participant there. You're Zeta coming from Las Vegas, there's a central hub that exists in New York. We can partner with the local communities, elevate our brand in that space. So when I think about legacy, I don't think about just this seat. I think about things that can extend beyond the seat and can support all of us in every space so that every member can step into leadership because knowledge is shared, not just owned. And in our own central hub, we can make sure we can expand that and be the model for that in other spaces as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Soror De Leon.